Your boundaries are going to make 2025 your most epically successful year yet. In today's episode, we are talking about self respect, self trust, and how that powerfully funnels into a sense of empowerment that makes it easier for you to manifest. But before we get into all of that good stuff, let me let you know who I am and what I do. My name is Natalie Hughes. I'm a life mindset and manifestation coach. In my business and on my platform, I help professional women to co-create emotionally fulfilled and purpose-driven lives for themselves. You are listening to the Naked and Noisy Manifestation Tools for the Professional Woman podcast, and I am so excited to serve you today. Damn, that was good. We might need to snap that. We might need to clip a snippet of that for the introduction music that I'm going to work on. 2025, we're coming back. We need a little show tune. We need a little show tune at the beginning. We need a little tune. We need something the girls can dance to. Okay. So, getting into this, we're having a conversation about boundaries, right? Now, in 2025, you want to have boundaries with the world, but you also want to have boundaries with yourself. And I'm going to explain this further, of course, but that's really the thing. That's really the ticket. Boundaries with yourself, self-respect. Are you the woman who does what she says she's going to do? Are you reliable for you? Because that's really what upholding your boundaries is. So let's start this off by defining boundaries. That's a great place to begin. What is a boundary? My favorite definition comes from Teal Swan. She says, a boundary is something that separates us from another person. A boundary is what defines who I am. A boundary is what defines my sense of self. So technically, my favorite color is pink, is a boundary. I really love the color green, is a boundary. I just sent this to one of my homegirls. Please don't send memes to my professional Instagram. That's a boundary. These are things that describe who I am, what I need, what makes me feel safe, what is required for me to be taken care of, safe and secure, right? So boundaries are really important for the woman who wants to create an emotionally fulfilled life, because you're going to create an emotionally fulfilled life. That means you're getting what you want. You're getting what you desire. And if you don't have strong boundaries, if you don't have a strong sense of self, if you're not willing to honor and ask for and expect what you desire, then you're not going to live an emotionally fulfilled life. A great example of this. My dream car is a Mercedes SUV, white. If a Mercedes SUV that was bright yellow came into my world and I got it because I wanted the Mercedes SUV, but I ignored the fact that it's a part of my heart's desire to have that car white, I wouldn't be fulfilled with that car. It would be a nice car. It would be a great car. It would get me from point A to point B. But what I feel, how I want to feel, what I feel proud, what I feel hot, what I feel sexy, what I feel like I am truly expressing my soul in a bright ass yellow Mercedes SUV, no, I would not. So that car would not emotionally fulfill me. If I were to accept a car that was the wrong color or the wrong model, it wouldn't give me a sense of emotional fulfillment, and I would be abandoning myself. I would be ignoring my own boundaries. My boundary is I want a white Mercedes SUV. If I allow myself to get a car that's not the car that I want and desire, then I'm abandoning my own boundaries. I'm releasing my own sense of self. I am settling. It doesn't matter that I want this specific car and this specific make. I actually can take things that I don't want, right? So holding your boundaries is really when you're honoring yourself. Holding your boundaries is really when you're honoring, this is who I am and this is what I want and this is what I desire. And we're humans, so things are always flowing. As we grow and we change, what we need in relationships changes, what we need out of our job changes, what kind of work we want to do changes, what kind of car we want to drive changes. If I wake up tomorrow and I want a bright yellow Mercedes, I'm going to get that for myself. Like, it's not that serious. But from moment to moment, being tuned and tapped and turned on to who you are, what you need, what you feel, and being unwavering around that, that's having a strong sense of self. That's having strong boundaries. And that's going to help you to co create an emotionally fulfilled life, right? Right. So you want to hold your boundaries in that perspective. You also want to hold your boundaries because you're the leader of your life. You're the mom, not just the mom of your future children or the children that you have now, but you're your own mom. You're the person who is reparenting yourself. So you're the person who has to create an environment of safety and security for you. When you have a boundary around how you want to be treated and people are crossing that boundary of how you want to be treated, that's making you feel unsafe. It's making you feel neglected. It's making you feel unloved. And when you don't hold that boundary, hold those people accountable, when there are not consequences for people ignoring your boundaries, then you, as the leader of your own world and in your own life, you are neglecting you. People's shitty behavior is going to be people's shitty behavior. Yes, we're manifestors, so we choose to expect people to be kind to us. We choose to build out the belief system that the world is on our side. People love to serve us. People love to work with us. People love to connect with us. It's safe to be in community. We're going to do these things. And at the same time, we understand that people's shitty behavior just gets to be people's shitty behavior. When I set a boundary and I say, I don't like this behavior, I don't like this experience, that's me communicating what's alive within me. That's me expressing myself. That's me expressing who I am, what I need, and what I desire. And if you ignore the boundary that I have expressed to you, then you will not be allowed in my life, or we will not be closer together. There's a boundary there. There's a sense of self there. And so I have a loyalty to myself. I have a loyalty to my boundaries. And this creates next level self-respect. I give off the energy and I give off the vibe of the woman that you really don't want to fuck with. Why is that? Not because I'm such an incredibly threatening person, which maybe, I guess, but that's not really the reason. It's because I'm a woman who respects herself. It's because I'm a woman who, like Kendrick Lamar said, I'll cut my granny off if she don't see it how I see it. There are consequences to your actions. You don't get to ignore my boundaries and continue to have that same role in my life. Just like I talked about in last week's episode. I made a comment. I said, these are my boundaries. Do not cross this. I blocked the person who made the comment. Somebody commented under the post of me announcing this is my boundary. They said I was ridiculous, so then I blocked them. And then somebody else commented, oh, I'm just playing devil's advocate, and then they got blocked. You can advocate for the devils in the abyss, bitch. I don't have time. The boundary is what the boundary was. And I don't live my life explaining to everybody why I do the things that I do. If I think that it's going to serve my community, I'll post an episode about it. We're not going to talk about it again in this episode. We're just not going to do it. I said what I said. You don't like it, you can be blocked. Simple. That's who I am. I have no problem with it. And so there's just kind of an understanding among me and most people, just in general, the things that we're picking up about each other on a subconscious level. There's something about this woman, even when she's being kind, even when she's being nice, that makes me feel I don't want to disrespect her. I don't want to take advantage of her. I don't want to act out of integrity with her because she's really not one to play with. I have boundaries in my life. There are consequences for disrespecting my own boundaries because I have a loyalty to myself. I have a loyalty to my sense of self. Okay, so boundaries. Boundaries are who am I and what I need, what I want, what I feel. So When I have boundaries with another human being, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to have a discussion about this. When I set that boundary with that human being, I'm saying, this is what I need to feel safe. This is what I need to feel loved. This is what I need to feel taken care of, blah, 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 blah. If that human being crosses my boundary, if they are persistent about talking about what I've said that I don't want to talk about, if they're crossing my boundary, then that person gets removed from my life. I'm not saying the answer is cut all people off. I'll give another example in a minute, but in that particular instance, I'm talking about a real life scenario years ago. I had lived with a cousin in Atlanta. She was a hyper masculine woman who did not have a strong sense of self. And this is interesting. I have a whole like workshop on this, which I probably should make for sale one day. But long story short, when you don't have a strong sense of self, when you don't have strong boundaries, another consequence of that is that you have to make other people feel better before you're willing to feel better. You can't be around people who are suffering. You can't be around people who are having a negative emotional experience. You have to fix it. You have to make it better. And then that makes you a controlling person and a terrible person to be around. I've been this person. There's no judgment around being that person, but it's not fun to be around someone who wants to micromanage your entire fucking life. So I was living with this cousin who's all controlling, hyper masculine, micromanaging, and is just suffocating the life out of me. So I communicate to her, like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about my business. I don't want to talk about what you think that I should do or how you think that I should do things and blah, blah, blah. And we ended up like going back and forth. Like we were literally yelling at each other. It was crazy. And so I ended up leaving her house. And then I went to New York for like 2 seconds. And then I was like, fuck this. This is the most stressful thing in my life. And I felt so defeated and so upset. And so I had posted on my Instagram and I was just like, I'm feeling so defeated, blah, blah, blah. If you were following me all those years ago, you know, I quit this business once a quarter. Not anymore today. Today we're doing fabulous. Like, oh my God, I have a 401k. I feel so amazing. I feel so great. I love being the owner of a company. I'm taken care of. I pay my bills. My bills are paid. I'm growing and expanding my team. Like, I love it here. It's so great here. A couple of years ago, I quit this business every single quarter, okay? Like clockwork, because I was just like, I cannot do this. I cannot handle it, right? So I'm having one of my quarterly meltdowns and I was like posting about it on my story. And then my cousin had like replied back to my story and was like, I told you I'm so right and blah, blah, blah. And then I literally was just like, never fucking talk to me again. Like the relationship is actually done. And then that was just that on that. And had there been like attempts throughout the years to reconnect and different things like that? Sure, but no. I mean, I haven't attempted. She has attempted. I reached out to her one thing for something that I needed help with that she didn't even help me with. That's neither here nor there. The point is, the relationship ended because I said, stop trying to tell me what to do. I can trust myself to create my own life. And she wanted to continue to assert, no, I'm right. I know better. Do what I say instead. And that just was never going to fly with me. That just didn't light me up. That didn't feel good to me. I didn't want to be around that. So she got cut off. I had another experience with my new assistant actually, who I know, like, and trust already. It was one of those really great moments of, okay, it's time for me to expand my team, hire people. We need to streamline some shit. I need some support, less work, more money, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to expand my team. And then I just really got the inspired idea to reach out to this woman who we went to high school together. We ended up becoming like really close, like best friends in high school. And so I like reached out to her to see if she was interested. Great. So I hired her and that's been really fabulous. And there was something that I needed from her. I needed an email to be scheduled, to be selected and scheduled for Monday at 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was Sunday night, and I hadn't heard from her. I knew that her weekend had been a little hectic and all of this stuff. And so I ended up reaching out to her, and I was just like, hey, before you, excuse me, I'm sorry, I dropped my phone. Before you schedule out that email, send it to me so that I can look over it, make sure that everything is good before it gets scheduled and sent out. Also, I need you to exclude XYZ contacts and da 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 da. So basically, I sent her that, and then she was like, this is like Sunday night, and I had literally taken an edible, you guys. Oh my God. It was one of those times where you take an edible, you feel absolutely nothing. So you're like, okay, let me take a little bit higher of a dosage. I was high for an entire fucking day. 24 hours, went to sleep high, woke up in the middle of the night, had nightmares, woke up out of my sleep. Oh my God, what if I fall off the bed? No, you're not going to fall off the bed. You're safe. It was a fucking adventure. Woke up the next morning, still high. Woke up the next morning, still fucking high, you guys. So anyway, it's Sunday night. I took my edible. I'm having this conversation with my assistant who's like, I'm so sorry. I can't do it. Is there any way that we can push it back and have the email scheduled for Tuesday at 5 a.m.? Skirt. Oh, hell no. Diva, I love ya. Hell no. Diva, I love ya. I love ya. Love you, love you, love you. Heart emojis from infinity to infinity. Hell no. Because that's not how I run my business. That's not how I run my business. If there's a time where I'm supposed to do something, I set a deadline for myself and I don't meet it, that means I worked my ass off to the bone. I was working myself towards burnout. I realized that for my sake and for my sustainability, I needed to push a deadline, and then a deadline was pushed. We do not push deadlines in this fucking business. And it's interesting because I can have a flow with myself, and we've talked in previous episodes throughout the seasons about the power of the pivot and being flexible and different things like that. Not around this. Not around this. Not around assignments. Not around I'm giving you more responsibility to take on in my business. And I'm going to trust you to take care of these things. This is like Sunday at 11 o'clock at night. I like to be in bed at 8. Don't ask me about my sleep schedule right now. I like to be in bed at 8. What if I had gone to sleep? And I was just going to wake up. If I didn't text you, would I have known that you weren't going to get the email out, right? All of this stuff. And so it's like, okay, what did I do? When she said that she couldn't get it out, I stopped responding to her, not in like a, you made me mad, so I'm going to withdraw my love. No, just in a priorities way. Okay, she can't get this done. I need to get this done. Why? Because I have been a solopreneur for many, many years. So I know how to do the shit that needs to get done. So what do? I schedule the fucking email. It literally took me 23 minutes. So our text message thread looks like her being like, I can't do it. Can we move it to Tuesday? 23 minutes later, me sending a message saying, okay, comma, I did it myself, period. And then me sending another message being like, okay, this can't happen. I am giving you these assignments. I'm trusting you to be reliable. Let's come up with a plan so that this never happens again, period. That's the long and the short of the email. I understand I gave you the assignment 2 days ago. Maybe it felt a little bit last minute, Let's talk about this tomorrow. Because at this point, the edible's kicking on. So I did it 23 minutes and a little bit high. The email was fabulous. Girl, I had to deal with a completely different thing with my fucking emails. The DNS server not being connected. Google doesn't know where it's coming from. First of all, Buki, it's coming from you because I sent it from the Google Workspace email. Do not play games with me. You know who I am. It's me, baby. It's me. My email's being sent to fucking spam. So then I had to figure that out today. But now we're just going on a 2.5. This is just a little catch up. Okay. Long story short, the business bitch has been business bitching. Okay. In the back end, the CEO has been CEOing. Okay. The CEO has been CEOing, and it's been fabulous. It's been really great because it makes me feel capable and competent, and I'm just like handling shit like one thing after another. Let me take this back and let me make it make sense, and let's all come full circle. Okay, so I have this conversation with this woman who I've just hired. We worked together for a month. We were going to sign a new contract for the next 3 months. After that moment where she agreed to do work and then the night of was like, oh, actually, I can't do it because she didn't plan, because she didn't prioritize, because whatever. Instead of, hey, let's sign on a contract for 3 months, let's do another month. Let's do, because we did it for the month of December. There wasn't a lot of work to actually get done. It was Christmas time. I've been doing a lot of freaking resting. Now it's January. Now it's time for us to handle our shit. I'm moving into the launch of Evidently Easy, my newest miniature course. We're going to talk about it more, but right now it is on sale for $33 and it's so fucking good. So just like get into that. Anyway, I'm moving into the launch for Evidently Easy, which I'm super excited about. And you've got more tasks that you need to handle on Instagram and different things like that. Shit that I need you to be scheduling. Like, now is the time for you to get to work and be reliable. So, originally, the plan was to extend our contract together for 3 months. But after that moment happened, instead of doing 3 months, let's do 1 month. Because there are consequences to people's actions, not in a way of like I don't feel like an authority figure, you've done something wrong, so now I'm gonna make you feel unsafe. No, it's not personal at all, because I love and adore her as a friend. It's in business. I'm a business owner. I need to make sure that shit gets taken care of. I don't send out my emails. My community doesn't know what I have to offer them. I don't make money. I can't pay my bills. I can't pay my assistant. I can't contribute a match to my 401k. I can't do the things that I need to fucking do to grow and expand. You're going to work for me, like we talked about in the first meeting. You're going to be a woman who is solution oriented. You're going to be a woman who's on it. You're going to be a woman who can work quickly and who can make adjustments and change and shift things when they need to be changed and shifted and adjusted. Period, point blank. So, long story short, my boundary is around what I need in a team member. My boundary is around, this is the kind of woman that I want to work with. This is the kind of experience that I want to have. When something went wrong, and I was expecting something of someone and they didn't deliver, I didn't immediately go towards cutting them off, because we're still establishing a working relationship. It's a work in progress. The thing about boundaries is that you kind of really don't know what a boundary is until you've crossed it, and somebody has to correct you and go, oh, hey, this is actually what I prefer. This is actually what I need. So the communication isn't bad. The moment isn't terrible, because it wasn't a big, huge task that was going to take me hours and hours to do, and everything got fucked up. It was really simple. It was really easy. I handled it. But we do need to look at things as a business owner. We have to look at things from the perspective of my long-term goals. What do I want? What do I need? Long-term, I want somebody who can show up in my business in like a COO role. I want somebody who can show up in my business who can be me when I'm not there. I want someone who can show up in my business who can train other people. I want someone who can show up in my business and who can be in more of a management position at some freaking point. So the way that I navigate this relationship is me keeping in mind what I need right now, what I want in the future. And so changing the contracts, changing the agreement. We have contracts with people all the time. Just because it's a business relationship and there's an actual contract that you sign, it's just an agreement. We have contracts with our friends. We have contracts with every single person in our life. We have contracts with ourselves. And as the woman who respects herself, as the woman who has strong boundaries, when I make a contract with someone, if that contract is not honored, then there are just natural consequences of that. I'm not going to sign on to work with someone for 3 more months if now I'm feeling a little bit doubt of whether or not you're going to complete your assignments. That doesn't make me feel more ease. That makes me feel more stressed. That makes me feel more worried. That makes me feel not taken care of. So I'm not going to do that for 3 months. We're going to do it for another month. I'm still going to be the leader of my life thing and tap into the energy of I have a team that powerfully supports me. I'm taken care of and supported by the world. So I'm always doing my own internal energetic thing. And I also have availability for if you're not the person that's an energetic match to what I'm creating and calling in, you absolutely can be dismissed, and it doesn't have to be personal. It can just be business and not just be what it is, because I have something that I'm creating. If you're going to come into my life, you're going to bring peace. If you're going to come into my life, you're going to elevate me. If you're going to come into my life, you're going to make me feel better, period, point blank. Okay. So boundaries. Boundaries is going to make 2025 your most epically successful year yet, because when you have boundaries, when you respect yourself, you respect your time, you respect your energy, you respect your effort, that means people are not allowed to treat me any kind of way. Everybody is not entitled to my energy. Everybody is not entitled to be my friend. Everybody is not entitled to work with me. Everybody is not entitled to connect with me. Nobody is entitled to be in my world. It is a privilege to be in my world. You want to hang out with me? You want to be in my community? You obviously enjoy the privilege of being in my world. Behave accordingly. If you don't do that, you will be dismissed. That's it. That's a boundary. There's confidence. I trust myself and I respect myself. I respect my time. You know that Janae Aiko song? I don't really know the song, but I kind of know the lyrics, and it's kind of toxic. But she says, I love me enough for the both of us. And that's kind of the energy within this specific context. I respect me enough for the both of us. I respect me feeling good and me being taken care of enough for the both of us. We're going to talk about those internal boundaries in a second. So, wrapping up the conversation that we're having about relationships and connections with people, sometimes you cut people off. Sometimes the boundaries just look different. Sometimes people are demoted from close friend to just friend, or from friend to just acquaintance. That's okay. That's something that I've been really just settling within myself. Like, it's okay for people to just not be super close friends, or it's okay for me not to force people into a specific box or into a specific group or into a specific role in my life. Some people can just be casual friends. Like, I know a friend of mine, it's been an experience for years where I would tell her, hey, can you make sure that you respond to my emails? Can you make sure that you respond back to me? Can you make sure that you reply back to me? Oh, I really would have appreciated it if you would reply back to me on Twitter, because I added you and it makes me feel like an unwanted thirsty loser when I at you and you don't respond back to me. Like, that just hurts my feelings. You know what I mean? So that's a boundary that I was communicating for a really long time. And I just got to a point where I'm no longer living a life where I repeat myself. I'm no longer living a life where I repeat myself. I'm just not. People don't have to be perfect, but people need to be mindful. Everybody does not have to be a close friend. The way that that woman shows up and the way that that woman wants to communicate is the way that she wants to show up and the way that she wants to communicate. And that's okay. And I can have a different desire from my close friends. And I do have other people in my world who, I have one friend, Tall. I actually worked with her this year as a personal client. And her testimonial is coming up. I'm going to share it at some point, probably this week on YouTube. So my client, Tall, she has a huge following on social media. She's got like 250,000 at least across her social media accounts. And whether it's on TikTok or Instagram, she always responds to my comments on her shit, which is crazy because if you have a platform, comments get lost. Even sometimes you go on YouTube, they don't show you all the comments. It's like, these are the comments that you haven't responded to, but sometimes it doesn't make it there. Sometimes it goes into spam. Sometimes it just doesn't show up and not even in the spam. Like, that's so like challenging. So I love that she always responds back to me. That's just a part of who she is. That's just a part of how she wants to communicate. If I text her and it's a while before she gets back to me, she'll go, "Oh, sorry for the late response, blah, 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 blah." I love that about her. That's somebody who I want to be a close friend in my life. It's not that people need to be evil, terrible, bad, horrible people because we've distanced ourselves or because we've cut them off or because different things like that. It's like people get to be in different roles in our lives. People get to serve different purposes for us, and that's okay. That's something that I've learned in 2024. Everybody doesn't have to have a specific role. I'm in this position of kind of letting people, based on their behaviors and who they are and how they are, letting them pick the roles that they play in my life and just kind of sorting them where that fits, which is great and fun. So, okay, you're a self-respecting woman because you honor your own boundaries. You honor what you need, you honor how you feel, and there's consequences for people not showing up for you. Going back to my experience about work this week, work over the past couple of days, I had to be really mindful about the way that I responded to my assistant's text message, because had I responded, "Oh, it's totally okay. Yeah, we can do the deadline by Tuesday. Like, no big deal, girl. Like, heart emoji. It's super fun, super cool, super relaxed. I'm super low maintenance. Nobody ever be mad at me, please." Like, no. If I would have done that, then it would have been fucking open season. Is that the right phrase? What would I have communicated with my behavior? I would have communicated, "It doesn't matter how you treat me." Would have communicated, "It doesn't matter if you make an agreement with me. It doesn't matter. You can sign all of the contracts in the world. It does not mean anything at all. I don't stand on what I say." Me, I'm the opposite of standing on business. Do whatever the fuck you want. Show up and do the work whenever you want to do it. You don't get to it, no big deal. Nobody's going to die. I'm not upset. I'm super cool. My business isn't important. That's what I would have been communicating with my actions. But when I responded by saying, "I took care of it, it's done, moving forward," the boundaries and expectations are the boundaries and the expectations. I would rather you communicate to me, "No, I can't do this. No, this is too much for me right now. I've got too much on my plate." I would rather you communicate that to me than not show up. Moving forward, if you're not going to have something done by the specific time, you need to let me know 24 hours in advance of the due date so that I have time to handle things and take care of shit. So there was more clear expectations that were communicated from that. And my response was the response of a self-respecting woman. My response was the response of a woman who treats her business like it's an important, significant thing, who matters and belongs. A woman who treats her audience like they are important, significant things that matter and belong. I'm going to honor my commitments. I'm going to honor what I've set out to do. And my podcast has not been a great example. Things have gotten so laxed around here, but it's because I haven't really had much to sell you guys. I haven't really had much to say. I haven't had a lot that I've been offering. So now as we go into Evidently Easy and all of that stuff, we'll be more consistent with the postings on the Monday. But even that, me showing up for myself, me respecting my word, me respecting what I say that I'm going to do, all of that is contributing to the energy that I'm emitting. It's also contributing to the reality that I'm experiencing, the shit that I'm attracting into my world. So let me give a different example. Or now let's move into my own internal world, my own internal experience. So when I say that I'm going to do something, I do it. When I say that I'm going to do something and I don't do it, I feel like shit about myself. And maybe you feel like that too. Maybe that's a normal, natural thing. But I've really noticed for myself, the more that I have been consistent with myself in my mindset routine, my journaling, sometimes it's journaling, sometimes it's EFT, sometimes it's meditation, whatever I'm doing to take care of myself and take care of my energy, I'm doing it consistently. If I go too long without journaling, if I go too long without taking care of myself emotionally, energetically, and mentally, I feel like total and complete shit. It's the same thing with my physical body and working out. I have to work out consistently. I have to work out more often than not. If I don't, then my body gets swollen. I don't feel so good. So I literally feel better and I look better when I am being active and taking care of my body. So, as a woman who has loyalty to myself, as a woman who has loyalty to my emotional fulfillment, as the woman who is responsible for me, I'm going to hold my own boundaries to myself. I'm going to hold myself accountable. Now, the difference between holding boundaries with yourself and holding boundaries with the rest of the world is that when you're holding boundaries with yourself and you don't do the thing you said you were going to do, you can't really cut you off, right? So there's a difference there. When I'm holding boundaries with myself and I don't do what I say that I'm going to do, I just feel like shit. Not me feeling like shit because I'm ashamed. A little bit of that, a little bit of shame and a little bit of guilt, which I'm still working through. But that's not the real reason why I feel like shit. The real reason that I feel like shit when I don't work out consistently is because my body needs me to work out consistently so that it can run healthily, so that it can do what it needs to do. That's just a normal part of maintaining my body's health. It's a normal part of maintaining my mental, emotional, and spiritual health as well. Bodies require maintenance. It's like a shower. If I do not shower, I'm going to be stinky. If I do not shower, I'm going to feel grimy. I'm going to feel dusty. I'm going to feel crusty versus when I'm taking my shower every single day and I'm getting out and I'm putting on my Aquaphor and I'm putting on my face moisturizer and I am putting on my bonnet and I'm putting on my new pajamas that I just got myself for Christmas and I feel luxurious and I feel amazing and I put on a little bit of Tom Ford before I get into bed and then that smell is in my sheets for all of eternity and like that just feels like heaven. Versus I didn't take a shower for 5 days and now I'm getting into bed. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot go to sleep if I'm dirty in my bed. I have to take a shower before I go to bed. If I do not feel clean, I will have so much trouble going to sleep or I will not have a good sleep that night. I'll wake up cranky, wake up on the other side of the bed, not feeling super rested. I need that routine to feel better. So you just experience natural consequences when you don't honor your own boundaries. And this is the same for relationships with other people. So I'll use one of my friends as an example. She was telling me a story about this woman who was talking to her about like sexual things, right? This older woman who was talking to her about sexual things. She didn't want to have that conversation. And so she's telling this woman, I don't want to have this. She's communicating her boundaries. There's a difference between communicating your boundaries and asserting your boundaries. Asserting your boundaries means this is what it is. And if you don't respect me, there are consequences moving forward, right? So she's communicating her boundaries to this woman. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. And this woman is continuously pushing up against those boundaries, continuously overstepping my friend's boundaries, right? In that particular moment, what happened? When my friend didn't cut this woman off or whatever, what were the consequences of that? My friend feeling unsafe and uncomfortable. My friend feeling uneasy. There's natural consequences of you not honoring your boundaries or honoring your boundaries. Whatever you're doing with your own boundaries, whatever you're doing with your own sense of self, there's consequences. It's just a question of who's going to take on those negative consequences. When you ignore your own boundaries, when you ignore what you need, whether you're neglecting yourself, like taking a shower, journaling, or you're not cutting people off when they're mistreating you, you're going to feel the consequences of that. You're going to feel the consequences of being unsafe with people because they're not respecting your boundaries. And every single time they cross your boundary, they make you feel unsafe. They make you feel uncomfortable. They make you feel awkward. They make you feel icky. They make you feel yucky. You're existing in an experience where you're constantly available to be made to feel yucky. When you do not assert your boundaries, when there are not consequences for people disrespecting your boundaries, you put yourself in a position where people can walk all over you. You're not taken seriously. You're not respected. Because when such and such asserts her boundaries, it really doesn't matter. She's just going to complain and tell you not to do that, but it really doesn't mean anything. When such and such says, don't do that, it really doesn't mean anything. Sure, she might complain. Sure, she might yell. Sure, she might say this terrible thing, but nothing's going to happen. Nothing is actually going to happen. There's nothing substantial about it. There's no real consequence for ignoring her boundaries. So when you're the woman who doesn't have strong boundaries, you just open yourself up for a whole bunch of bullshit. When you're the woman who doesn't assert her boundaries, you open yourself up for a whole bunch of unnecessary bullshit. No, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what it is. And if you don't like it, then you can get the fuck ASAP. And when it comes to my own internal world, this is what I need. This is where I am. This is how I feel. When I do not follow my own shit, when I do not take care of myself, when I do not honor my own boundaries, I feel like shit. And as a woman who is loyal to herself, as a woman who loves herself, I'm going to take action that makes me feel good, period. Like, it's not even worth discussing any further. So I trust myself. I trust myself because I do what I say that I'm going to do. I trust myself because I honor and respect my boundaries. I honor and fucking mouth, please. I honor and respect my own boundaries. I honor and respect what's alive within me. I honor and respect what I need. Shit gets taken care of. If I have plans for an email to go out to my community on Monday and Thursday, that email is going out to my community on Monday and Thursday, period. If I have plans for an email to go out to my community Monday and Thursday, an email is going out to my community Monday and Thursday. I have plans for social media posts all throughout this motherfucking week. There are posts that are going up on my Instagram every single day of this week because I'm a woman who does what she says. And now this is where it gets into manifestation. Because I'm a woman who says what she's going to do. When I expect it to happen, it happens. When I set a standard for myself, the standard is met. When I say this is what we're going to do, this is what we end up doing. Manifestation is a co-creative process. It requires a faith in yourself. It requires a trust in yourself. If you're a woman who communicates and who says, hey, please don't do that, and then you let other people do that and there's no consequences for that, you don't take yourself seriously, what is going to make you think that the universe is taking you seriously? And here's the thing, because you really have to take that sentence with a grain of salt. The universe is always responding to you. The universe is always taking you seriously. There is no eye in the sky that is looking at you and is judging your behavior and going, no, she's not serious. I'm not going to respond to that. That's not what's happening. What's happening is you don't take you seriously. The problem is that you don't take you seriously. When you're a woman who says that she's going to do something and you don't do it, you don't follow through, you don't take you seriously. So when you say that you're going to get married this year, when you say that the love of your life is showing up, when you say that you are a wife, you don't take that shit seriously. You don't honor the fact that you have the power to create positive change in your own life. Every single action that you take, it adds up. Every single step that you take, it adds up. So when you're the woman who is consistently creating boundaries for herself, creating structure for herself, You're creating an environment of safety and security within yourself because you do what you say that you're going to do. You can trust you. You are reliable for you. I know that if I say I'm going to get something done, I'm going to get it done. For example, I just set up my 401k, right? With the 401k that I have set up, there's a specific thing that I'm going to need to go back at and look and double check next year around the payments and the information. When it was brought to my attention that in a year from now, I'm going to have to be looking at the payments and the other information a year from now, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to make sure that I look into that a year from now. And then that was just that on that. I didn't write it down, even though I do write things down, but within this specific experience, I didn't write it down. I know a year from now, I'm going to need to look at that. I'm going to need to double check that. I'm going to need to make sure that that's okay, that that's handled, that that's taken care of. And it's not that I have super great memory, even though I do have super great memory. It's that I trust myself. It's that I know that I'm capable and I know that I'm competent and I trust myself to take care of myself. Shit doesn't feel up in the air for me ever. It doesn't feel like I hope that I can get this. Maybe I can get this. If I just pray, if I just, hope for a miracle, then maybe I can get this. It doesn't feel that way with me. I feel certain. I feel certain in my ability to take care of myself. I feel certain in my ability to handle things. With the shit going on in my fucking email. My email getting sent to spam. What the fuck is going on here? It took me a couple of Google searches and almost starting to freak out. And then me going, nope, I'm not doing that. That's a boundary with me. Nope, I'm not doing that. We don't go there. We don't go to that place of what if it's not working? What if I can't figure it out? There has to be a solution. I'm open to solutions. I'm finding solutions now. It's now working. God, angels, universe, help me. Let's do this. Let's connect together. Let's work as a team. And then solutions were fucking found. From a Reddit thread, and then a Google thread, and then a fucking AI bot from my goddamn website, fucking chat help people. Then one thing after another, one step after the next, one step after the next. That's ease. I was guided to a solution. That's ease. I easily found a solution. But it would have been a much more difficult experience if I wasn't the woman who trusted herself. Oh my God, what's happening? All of my emails are going to spam. Nobody's ever going to be able to hear from me. Everything is terrible. What if 1 million people reported my email to spam and now I'll never end up in people's email inboxes again and blah, 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 blah. I could have gone on a downward spiral and that would have helped nobody. But I've got clear boundaries with myself. There are certain thought patterns that I don't practice. There are certain perspectives that I do not choose to hold on to. I'm not going there. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. That's how I am with my mind. I'm a woman who has strong boundaries. I have a strong sense of self. I know who I am and I know what I need. I know that what I need is to think positively. I know that that's going to help me. That's going to make me feel the best. I know that what I need is to pray and open up to see things in a different way, is to ask the spirit guides and ancestors to help me and support me. I know that that's what I need. I know that what I need is to Google and to reach out to the different service providers and blah, 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 and figure out what the fucking name server is and how I can do what needs to be done and da-da-da-da-da. So I'm taking action in the physical. I'm taking action in the spiritual. And at no point in any of that am I focusing on worrying and what if I can't do it and what if it doesn't work for me. And the reason why I'm not focusing on worrying and what if I can't do it and what if it doesn't work for me is because I filed my own taxes for myself at the beginning of this year or at the beginning of 2024. Because I was having panic attacks, freaking out, praying, crying, screaming, throwing up over what if I do the wrong thing, what if it doesn't work, blah, 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 blah. And then I did it And it was fine and it was great and it was easy because it was one right thing after the next. And I was incredibly supported throughout the entire process. So then I handled that, and then I handled the tax payments and all of that shit. Shit got sorted. Shit got handled. Shit got shit got sorted and shit got handled because I showed up for myself. I honored me. I honored what I needed. I honored what was alive within me. I want a business that's in good standing with the government. I want a business that files its taxes every single year on time. I want a business that is completely taken care of. I want confidence in myself as the CEO of my business, as the owner of my business. I want more peace in my life. I want more empowerment in my life. I want more financial freedom in my life. I want to feel safe and secure financially. That is my boundary. That is what is alive within me. That is my heart's desire. I'm loyal to that and I honor that. So I'm going to face the challenges and I'm going to do the things that feel difficult. And I'm going to move through it even when I'm panicking. And as I achieve, as I file my taxes, as I get the positive, thumbs up from the IRS and the California tax board and what the fuck ever, as everything works out for me, as everything comes together for me, I build more self confidence. I build more self respect. I'm the woman who handles shit. I'm the woman who figures shit out. I'm the woman who sees problems and creates solutions. I'm the woman who receives solutions. I'm the woman who is supported by God, angels, ancestors, and ability and general know how around the internet and tech shit. I am the woman who is supported. I have self respect. You're ready for 2025 to be your most epically successful year. You need to be the woman who respects herself. When I think about my goals, I've been thinking about buying a house at the end of this fucking year, you guys, which is like crazy. But I'm like, if I'm not buying a house, I really feel like I'm going to buy a house at the end of this year, you guys, which is like insane. I have no idea what's about to happen for my finances. I mean, I know that my finances are growing. I know that business is expanding. I know that I've got this. I know that I can handle this. I am so ready to buy my first house. Like, I'm so fucking ready. Like, I have this feeling inside of me that's like, it needs to happen tomorrow. So I'm thinking about buying my first home. And I'm thinking about all of these things that I want to do. And it doesn't feel like, oh my God, but what if it doesn't happen? Oh my God, but maybe I can't do it. But maybe it won't show up for me. But maybe this year will be the worst. But maybe blah, 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 blah. I don't have that. I don't have that feeling of maybe I can't do it. Because of all of the shit that I have done over the past 6 years, all of the shit that I've overcome, all of the shit that I've created, every single time that I said I was going to do something and I showed up and I did it, every single time I said I was going to handle some shit and I faced my fears and I made it happen, that created more self-trust. I see me as a reliable person in my life. If nobody else can handle it, I can handle it. If nobody else is going to show up for me, I'm going to show up for me. Now, I also simultaneously tell the story that the world shows up for me. The world helps me. The world supports me. So it's not that I'm against the world or the world is against me. It's not necessarily a one-woman show because there's cooperative components that are always working together, always connecting to make my dreams come true. It's that no matter what happens, I trust me and I rely on me. I trust me to keep me safe. When people cross my boundaries and they make me feel unsafe, when people cross my boundaries and they comment things that are made to make me second guess myself, second guess my intuition, second guess what the fuck I know to be true as if this is my first rodeo, when people comment shit like that, and it's not to support me and it's not to uplift me and it's not to genuinely help and serve me, but it's to undermine me, they're getting fucking blocked. What am I communicating to me in that moment? I'm communicating to me, I got this and I've got you. When I assert my boundaries, when there are consequences for disrespecting my boundaries, I am communicating to myself that I have got me, that I am safe with me, that I can trust me. There is no experience in the world where, what if somebody says something, or what if something terrible happens and we can't handle it and things won't work out for us? I don't have that fear because I trust me and I've got me. And every single time there's an opportunity for me to be courageous, I step up to the plate. That's who I am. I trust myself. And so with that self-trust and with that self-respect, I'm more willing to battle myself. I'm more willing to raise the bat on myself. I'm more willing to expect more greatness. I'm more willing to expect more and more of my dreams to come true because I respect me and I honor me and I trust me and I am reliable for me. You want to make 2025 your most epically successful year yet? You need to be a woman that you trust. You need to be a woman that you know that you can rely on. When you say we're going to go for a walk once a day, when you say we're going to exercise for 20 minutes once a day, and you get up and you do it, and then you miss the third day and you get up on the fourth day and you do it, and then you miss the 10th day but you get up on the 13th day and you do it, you're communicating to yourself, hey, I'm serious. And you say, I'm going to journal every single day, and you do it for 3 days, and then you skip for 3 days after that, but then you get up on the 7th day and you do it again. You're communicating to yourself, hey, I'm serious. I respect who you are. I respect what you need. I respect your dreams, and I'm going to show up for it. And then the shit comes true, obviously. You get the shit that you wanted, obviously. And so not only do you feel empowered, I do have the power to create positive change in my life. You also feel that self-trust. You also feel that self-respect. I trust myself to make shit happen. I trust myself to make mountains move. I trust myself to create positive results in my own life. That's confidence and empowerment that does not come from listening to a podcast. That's confidence and empowerment that comes from a daily practice. That's confidence and empowerment that is built up over time. And that's one of the reasons why I'm always telling y'all about the free resource library, about my programs, about my courses. Because I don't want you to just get the shit intellectually. I want you to embody it. I don't want you to be able to recite it or know it like the back of your hand. I want you to be it. I want you to be it at your fucking core. I want you to be the woman who respects herself at her fucking core. I want you to be an empowered woman at her core. I want you to be so empowered and so self-respecting that nobody and nothing in this world could ever come to you and convince you of anything different. I don't want you to memorize it like you're going to take a test. I want you to know it. And I want you to be it. I want it to be who you are and what you are and how you are in the world. Okay? Okay. Evidently Easy, my newest miniature course. Inside of it, I'm teaching you how to take difficulty off the pedestal, stop expecting to struggle your way towards success, and allow your desires to manifest with less effort than ever before. Oh my God, I love this fucking program. It is so incredibly good. In manifestation, you get what you expect to manifest your most evidently easy life, an easeful life where you are manifesting your desires with less and less effort. You've got to expect ease where you've previously expected difficulty. This is such an incredible program. It has 3 modules in it. It's a miniature course, so they're smaller modules. It's more exercise based than it is trainings based, even though the trainings are short, sweet, and impactful. I love them so much. I love listening to the trainings just as like a rampage and a boost of energy. Like inside of one of the trainings, I'm teaching you how to go on an I think I call it like an ease rampage, an easeful abundance rampage, or a rampage of ease. No, that's what I call it. It's a rampage of ease. And as I listen to the audio, it just gets me tapped into this energy of like, oh yeah, this is the easiest time for me to ever have success in the world. This is the easiest time for me to ever make money. This is the easiest time for me. Yes. Like it just gets me lit up. The Evidently Easy program feels like a new pair of pumps The Evidently Easy program feels like a new pair of pumps. When you put those pumps on and you've got an interview, or you're going to a photo shoot, or you're going out to a nice dinner, and every single time you take a step, there's that little click, clack, click, clack, and you feel confident, and you feel sexy, and you feel that self-esteem and that self-trust and that self-respect. That's what Evidently Easy feels like. So if you want to tap into high heel pumps, tipping across the floor, Evidently Easy is absolutely the perfect place for you to check that out. Like I said, it's currently on sale for $33. The price is going to triple in the next coming weeks. It'll go up to $111, and then who knows, it probably will go up after that. If you know me, then you know exactly what I mean. The people who joined the first round of the Receiver's Mindset joined it for $7, and now the program is selling for $2,000. So the point is, whenever I drop some shit, I always highly recommend that you become one of the founding members for the low price. Okay? I love you so much. It's already linked in the show notes. If you want to check that out, you can read some of my client and customer testimonials, and you can enroll now when you click that link. I think I already said that. It doesn't matter. I love you so much. Thanks for being here. Happy New Year. And I'll talk to you next week in the next episode.